Hey, if you're loving On Brand with Jon and Marisa, be sure to check us out on Podcast The Ride, where we are guests this Friday on July 11th, talking about one of our favorite things, Titanic! Check it out. Over 150 years ago, a young, charismatic entrepreneur pulled together all the money he could to open a shop selling provisions in Glasgow, Scotland. With a creative mind and an ability to think outside of the box, he became known for elaborate stunts that would bring customers to his stores in droves. But while the showman was successful with his retail business, it was his focus on one commodity that would change his life forever. Achieving unimaginable wealth and global recognition, he would find himself entertaining royalty, presidents, and movie stars alike. But as proud as he was of his achievements and as much as he loved the accolades, he never forgot where he came from and worked hard to help those less fortunate. He lived a big public life on his journey to creating an iconic brand, but along the way, he may have kept a secret or two. And that's why this week's On Brand is on Lipton.
You're all jazzed up, nearly having a cow. You want your favorite show and it's on right now. It's on brand.
Welcome to On Brand with Jon and Marisa.
I'm Jon. I don't know why you're laughing. You're Marisa laughing.
I'm Marisa. I did not know it was Lipton until the very end.
I'm telling you, I pick Lipton kind of. I've been picking my brands a little last minute. I was like, Lipton, that sounds good. It's summer. We just did hot dogs. What are we going to have with it? Maybe some iced tea. I started dipping my toe into the Lipton world. This shit's crazy.
The Lipton murders this Sunday on A&E.
I was very impressed with this guy.
Oh, wow. I can't wait to hear.
Very exciting. Yeah, Lipton was, I don't know if you have any connection with Lipton. My dad always made Lipton iced tea when we were growing up. I just remember there would always be tea bag steeping. Then he moved into like the Lipton lemon flavored like crystals. So I even have those now. Like you just put a couple spoonfuls in a glass of water, stir it up, and you have some manufactured tea.
You know what? We were not a tea family, and my mom, the only thing she has ever said that she doesn't like is jazz. And the other thing that if it comes up that she'll kind of say like, not for me, not my favorite, which she doesn't like to really like make bold statements against things, is tea. So jazz really does not like. Tea, not her thing. So
if you were to sum up Bobo, that's what we call her, what Bobo doesn't like is sophistication.
Actually, her and Niles Crane would not have much to talk about, which is interesting because she is a fan of Frasier.
She's like, I simply hate formal wear.
That is true, too. She famously won a wet t-shirt contest. And I asked her the story the other day. You were over and you said, okay, what happened? How did you win this wet t-shirt contest in the 1970s? She had a boyfriend who she was like kind of with at the bar, and girls kept coming up to him like, oh, I'm going to be in the wet t-shirt contest. I go, pay attention at 8:05. I'm going to be up at the wet t-shirt contest. And then she was like, all these bitches are coming, trying to steal my man by telling them they're in the wet t-shirt contest. So she enters the wet t-shirt contest. And you know what her move is? Her grand slam?
Yeah, I do. And it seems insane. Why don't you share?
You take your top off.
That's not a wet t-shirt contest. That's stripping.
She says, this is the only thing I've ever won.
Your mom is a stripper who hates tea.
We're not the most sophisticated bunch, but I learned about iced tea via Arnold Palmer, which is kind of like the gateway drug into tea.
My dad's go-to, I don't know if it was growing up. I don't feel like it was. Were Arnold Palmer's around growing up? I feel like that's a relatively in the last new thing. And when I say new, I mean 30 years.
Well, yeah, like Arnold Palmer invented it.
The man. The golfer.
The golfer.
But when? My dad now, whenever we go out to, we always go out to lunch and meals when I'm home. He always gets an Arnold Palmer.
Are there any better words than free refills? Because some places are stingy with the lemonade and the tea refills.
Yeah.
If you get free refills on an Arnold Palmer, the rest of your day you are soaring.
Man.
You are jacked up on sugar. You're jacked up on caffeine. Your house will never be cleaner.
Well, it was like, I feel like it was like 5. I mean, now I feel like because of COVID, there's like 3 years. Everything is actually 9 years. Like everything, you have to add an extra 3 years.
And then the 90s were 10 years ago.
90s were 10 years ago. Anyway, in the last decade, I learned, and I think it was my sister that taught me, I thought this was just a Midwest thing, and maybe because people in California are too embarrassed to do it.
Probably.
When you're having lunch or dinner somewhere and you have your drink, mine's usually a Diet Coke, sometimes an iced tea, sometimes an Arnold Palmer. You pay your bill and you're ready to leave. You're like, can I transfer this to a to-go cup? They make you a fresh, whole new drink to go.
Yeah.
That has been a game changer.
I haven't seen that west of Arizona.
Yeah, I don't think that
no
happens
one's doing that here.
west of Arizona for sure. No one in Nevada is doing that.
That needs like a term. What is that called?
Cheap.
Freebie.
Free. I don't know. It does need
Cup
something.
queen. Sorry, I'm just going to be a cup queen for a second. Can I get a cup of this to go?
Hey, I'm just going to tip my tiara. Could I get one of these to go?
You know, the only time I've ever asked for a to-go cup, sometimes at a restaurant, if I have like an iced coffee, which the price of iced lattes is through the roof.
I make
these
my
days.
own. I won't even go.
But if you're at a restaurant and you're kind of like having like, it's a splurgy brunch, sure, I'll get an iced latte. $7.50, $8. What world are we living in? So if I have like a little bit of that left, I'll occasionally ask for a to-go cup. But they're not making you a fresh anything.
You're making fun of me because I'm basically just getting another refill, and you're taking like 3 spits of an iced latte. You're wasting a whole cup.
Yes, with like a watered down, like little baby ice cubes just floating in there. It's nearly transparent. It's so diluted. You could see yourself. It's rough.
So I was I've been on a Habit Burger kick this summer because they keep having coupons. I think everyone in the Discord thinks I'm obsessed with Habit Burger. It's only because I'm getting coupons right now.
It seems like you're like running like an elaborate scam with Habit Burger. It's almost like they're paying you to eat there. Like you're like a brand rep and you're like, oh, Habit Burger. Did you know they're like 2-for-1 burgers today? It's like, I've never heard of anybody eating Habit Burger, and somehow
Habit Burger. Did you know you can get free A1 sauce and Worcestershire sauce there?
All you have to do is steal it. Do you know you can get like free chairs at Pottery Barn? Just like walk out with them.
Did you know at Habit Burger the sodas are free if you bring back the Habit Burger cup that you got the time before? I was at Habit Burger last week doing one of their deals. They had $1 double cheeseburgers, which is insane.
That is crazy.
Insane.
Wow,
insane.
1/8 the price of a latte for a double cheeseburger.
Oh my gosh,
Crazy.
and a good burger. So I'm there and I'm eating alone outside. It's fine. I'm listening to music. It's great. And these boys next to me, there's like 3 boys next to me. I don't know, probably high school, maybe a college.
Hard to tell that age.
You can't tell.
It's tough. I see a 12-year-old
especially when they're
who
really
looks 40.
hairy.
I see a 40-year-old who looks 12.
We're all over the place. Everyone's fluid and everyone looks weird. So these boys get their meals, don't get drinks, and then like halfway through decide to get 2 drinks. So one of them goes in to get soda, gets 2 sodas.
Observing a teen in the wild, by the way, like there's nothing better. Like you do not need TikTok. Your TikTok is happening in 4D right in front of you. Watch the show.
Just sit back with your burger and watch. So one guy goes in and gets 2 sodas, comes back, gives his friend a soda. Both sodas have an 1.5 inches of space before they get to the top of the cup with the lid. I was like, and it's not a place where Habit doesn't do the sodas. You do your own sodas.
Okay.
I was like, that's all
You're pulling up short of the top of the rim?
It's so outside my world of like, get everything you can for as little as possible. Like mine's filled to the top when I'm always mad because I put the lid on and it squirts out of like the straw hole because I put too much in.
You noticed this when we went to In-N-Out Burger with Alpal because he occasionally he'll dabble a little bit in like in a soda pop and he'll get the smallest size, which is like, not teeny. It's not as tiny as like a mini Coke. And he'll fill it up a third of the way because he's like, well, that's all I want.
Yeah. Well, that's what these guys did. They eat their meal. They finish. They still have 2 inches of soda left.
Oh, you got to fill that up to go, baby. You might want to swig in the car.
I would fill that up to go, use that to fill up my thermoses, then refill it up. I would leave there with 3 drinks.
You would leave, this way you could take your to-go not on ice, and then you could hurry it home and then put it in the back of your fridge.
I do that. You're not teaching me anything. That is part of my canon. These boys took the still soda cups, tossed them in the garbage.
Crazy.
I don't even understand it.
Kids
they
these days.
bought 2 sodas, paid full price for them, drank probably 3 sips of soda.
Yeah.
Maybe they're rich. I don't know. I'm like,
I mean, back in our day. back in our day, you're not even buying soda. You're getting a water cup.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're pulling fraud.
Yeah. I do feel, for some reason, I do feel weird doing that.
I would never do that. Oh, gosh, it's been years. I would never do it if I was being observed. Like, I would imagine doing that on like a date.
I wouldn't do it if I was in a lab. If I was in a lab, I'd pretend I'm a normal human
If you're
being.
with a friend and there you have somebody to like bear witness, I feel like that's something that you cannot do. And it also depends how you'd never do it at a small business. You never do it at a place where people have been nice to you, if the workers have been nice.
Yeah.
If they've been really mean, if you've had to order from a kiosk, if you've been repeatedly, shamed and humiliated by the staff. Sure, get yourself a couple inches of Sprite. I would do the cowardly thing, and I would take it up to the water, where the water is the like accessory button to the lemonade.
And then accidentally.
And then, oops, my finger slipped.
You take it.
Wait, this isn't water. This is lemonade. This is on you guys.
Speaking of lemonade,
I saw water.
Speaking of lemonade, Habit is one of those places I gotta say I do usually drink zero sugar drinks. There's something about just like a gallon of sugar that I don't love.
Yeah.
But a place like Blaze Pizza and Habit Burger has like the two frothy.
Ooh.
Some sort of cool lemonade thing, like strawberry limeade or like some sort of summery thing.
Like their house brand or like a third party?
I'm assuming. It doesn't have like a brand name on it.
It's not Minute Maid.
This had like a piece of tape that was like strawberry limeade. I'm like, I felt like an 8-year-old. I had such a bellyache by the time I left there. I drank such an unhealthy amount of strawberry lemonade.
Lemonade is wild how much sugar is in it. And I'm pretty free flowing with the sugar in my life. I don't really self-regulate at all. I don't have any like outside limitations on sugar. I guess I do self-regulate, then I'll know when I'm getting a bellyache, but I don't like put any outside limitations on my sugar consumption. But if you're making lemonade for a lemonade stand, 8 cups of sugar in, you're like, this feels illegal.
Well, knowing that $1 a cup seems very reasonable.
It is reasonable.
With the price of sugar. Funny you say that. So
Right?
my friend texted me. She's in Michigan right now, and her daughter's running a lemonade stand as we speak.
Oof.
And she texted right before we started recording, competition just opened up a block away.
Oh, no. Undercutting the price?
I don't know.
Wow.
I didn't check in. They're charging $1 lemonade, $2 cookies.
Oh, okay.
That seems fair.
I feel like when I was a kid, it was a quarter, and I feel like that kind of goes up with the price of inflation. I feel like $1 a cup is pretty industry standard now.
It's funny you say that. Someone posted, or I saw online yesterday, someone posted a picture of a Taco Bell, like 5-layer burrito, 2010, 89 cents. 5-layer burrito this year,
Yes.
$5.89.
That is crazy. Can you get anything for under $1 at Taco Bell?
No.
I feel like everything used to be $79, $59, $89.
Yeah, you know what you can
Yeah.
get? Side of salsa, like a mild packet.
A tiny ramekin.
They now have a menu. They're like 10 things under $3. If you're in California, it's 8 because you look at the list of 10 and 2 of them are like $3.80. It's like, why are you
Wow.
saying, like, I feel like we could sue them.
Class action. I'm ready.
Have you gotten any of the McDonald's toys before we move on? McDonald's has a cute line of toys. Everyone in the Discord's freaking out about them. I want the Boo Bucket. It's 21 retro toys. I'm kind of torn on them. They're cute. They almost look like they've just been made with a 3D printer.
They are, okay, so they're all, in case people haven't seen, and I'm not the most familiar with this lineup, but they're all like miniaturized versions of McDonald's or McDonald's like things.
So
Like,
there's like one of them is like a cell phone with the McDonald's app on it.
there's a fryer with like little burgers. You twist a thing and then like the burgers flip around to
a
done.
tray with fries on it.
Sure.
But what is messing me up is the scale is so different. It's like they have a Halloween bucket. That's the one I want. The classic
Yes,
Boo
I
Bucket
know
from
exactly.
childhood.
The cell phone is the size of the McDonald's building.
Yeah, but the fries are teeny tiny.
If
like
you're trying to fill a dollhouse, this will throw the scale completely off.
no, yeah, you're gonna have to have a variety of sizes of residents
I
in that
think
house.
that's a huge misstep to not. What is it? What's typical scale for like model train doll? Like 1/8? Is that usually what it is? 1/8 scale?
I always get so confused by scales.
You know what I mean, though. It's
I
all
do.
like there's like different. Like you can have like the big boys or the itty bitties, and like
Yeah.
it's all you want it all to match. You don't want like your train conductor to be like towering over a train.
Yeah, your Halloween bucket should definitely not be as big as your store.
They should have consulted a train enthusiast.
Yeah, but people are freaking out over them. They're They're blind boxes, much like the Labubus. But McDonald's blind boxes, they're so lazy about it.
Sure.
Within 1 hour, someone had already figured out, like they literally just
the package is like clear.
No, the packages are cute. They look like a little mini Happy Meal.
Cute.
But then underneath, it'll just say 1 through 21, and you can just figure out. I know the Boo Bucket's number 8, but then you have to find a McDonald's where you're like, hey, do you mind peeking in? And
like you did at
Wendy's. I got rid of the middleman. I was like, can you just put the box on the counter? I'll go through them.
So you can buy, someone in the Discord said this also, you are technically allowed to buy a toy without buying a Happy Meal. It's around $2, but it's up to each location whether or not they're willing to entertain a grown man, allowing him to dig through the box.
Yes.
Is this like, are people busting on the doors of McDonald's for these, or is it not creating as much buzz as they had hoped?
I honestly don't know. They've been out since I think Monday, and I haven't been to McDonald's. I don't have a big enough draw to like run to them. It scares me that I'll get the Boo Bucket and love it, and then be like, I need the other 20.
I mean, everything about it scares me on your behalf, because if you don't get the Boo Bucket, you're going to get like craving for the Boo. You're going to go, well, I mean, it wasn't that hard.
And then I'm on eBay and I'm like, I guess $14 isn't too much to spend on the Boo Bucket. Plus shipping, it's $26.
I mean, yeah, what's your time worth? Like hours traversing the LA County trying to find the Boo Bucket? What's the most rare one? Is it the Boo Bucket?
I don't know that there's not even ratios, so I don't even know if there is a rare one. That one's just the Boo Buckets.
Yeah, what about the Boo Bucket? Why is that?
If you don't know what a Boo Bucket is, when we were young, in like I don't know if they were in the 70s, maybe 70s, 80s, at Halloween, McDonald's Happy Meals came in a Halloween bucket called
Which they brought them
bucket.
back like last year or the year before, because one of my kids trick-or-treated with it last year.
Exactly. And they were gone for like 20 years. Brands are very smart about knowing when to bring things back. When something's popular as a child, 20 years, 30 years, they'll bring it back because those people now have disposable income. And
Kids of their own.
They'll get all into it. So a few years ago, these Boo Buckets came back. I did not like their design because the old ones had a nice lid that clicked on it. Now they just have a weird flappy flap.
Very cumbersome handle.
It doesn't make sense.
This is what bothers me about handles. I feel like the Boo Bucket is the only one that's top of mind, but there's so many things I've done, I've tried where I'm like, did nobody like hold this even for like 1 second to see like, oh, fingers don't fit in this, or like, oh, if you like it's not made for a human hand. It's like this was not tested by one person.
You know, Karen, it's Friday. I want to be home. We're having a few people over for dinner tonight. Just put in the order for 400 million of them.
Exactly.
Sounds good.
Hey, I have the prototype for the Boo Bucket. You want to check it out?
No, you know what? I trust you. That's why I hired you yesterday. I trust every decision that you make.
I actually don't work here. I'm
just put the order in. We need enough for the entire planet. All right, so Lipton, what you know nothing about it. I knew nothing about it going into it.
I know nothing about it, but I am intrigued.
Well, good. Let's get to it.
There's a light. It wouldn't be on brand if there wasn't the light rattling sound of a cat eating out of a dish in the next room.
Okay, so, I mean, basically, Lipton, we'll get to it. It's a lot of things. But first, let's just quickly talk. Let's see if we can do the history of tea in about a minute. Tea, if you don't know, is the most popular drink in the world aside from water.
Oh, wow. A lot of countries, tea is numero uno.
Yes. There is a Chinese saying that
in America, is it like Pickle Rita from Sonic is like the number one drink in the country?
Well, as far as tea goes, almost everywhere else, I think tea is a hot drink. America, tea is almost always an iced drink.
We are ice queens here.
We are ice queens.
Yes.
Someone wrote us and was like, we have ice in my country too. I don't know where you're getting your information. And I was like, oh, did we? I probably was like,
all I know is I went to Italy when I was 17 and nary a cube was seen.
Bring your own ice. There is a Chinese saying that identifies the 7 basic daily necessities, which are fuel, rice, oil, salt, soy sauce, vinegar, and tea. Now, I love this story. According to legend, tea was invented by the Chinese Emperor Shen Nong in 2737 BC. Accidentally.
Oh.
I love an accidental invention. We're talking Reese's Cup. The guy falls over. His chocolate bar goes into a jar of peanut butter.
Popsicle left it
juice
out on outside.
A randomly cold night.
When are we going to accidentally invent something?
Soon.
I hope.
Okay, so 2737, that's pre-clip clop.
I can't,
I looked it up. I was like, did they take horses in 2037? Normal mode of transportation? foot travel.
Oh, horses weren't invented yet.
Horses were
We were
not
wondering when horses got invented. Apparently,
after 2737.
There you go.
I don't know what the sound would be. Now we have clip clop and we have vroom vroom. I don't know what foot travel is.
or could you ride on the back of a mastodon?
Well, I'm not reinventing what happened. I'm just saying when we talk about times that are this BC.
They must have been riding something.
Well, feet.
Okay. Stomp.
All right. So this guy, this emperor, he believed that drinking boiled water contributed to good health. So he goes on a trip and it's a warm day and the locals just, he expresses, we like boiled water. They boil him some water to drink. While it's boiling, dry leaves from a nearby camellia tree
Oh my gosh.
falls into the water. He's like, you know what? That smells good.
Oh.
He drinks it.
Oh my gosh. Instantly poisoned, dead.
Dead. On to the next emperor.
There's so many plants that could have instantly killed him.
Yeah. It was poison ivy. His tongue starts itching.
Okay.
No, he loves it. He finds it refreshing and delightful. And he declares that it gives vigor to the body, which
Ooh.
I guess he got a boner from it. Something happened. He's
These
like,
days, we need all the vigor we can get.
yeah, I'm sure it had nothing to do with the beautiful maiden that brought it to him. It was the
Leaning
leaves.
over, her bust hanging, dipping into the cup.
It was the dry leaves in the tea that gave him vigor.
Sure.
So it's declared that it is a good drink to drink, but at this point it's only medicinal. It will be another 2,400 years before it becomes a daily drink.
This is my kind of guy. It's like he has one idea and it's like no further innovation. I feel like that's what I accidentally invent something and be like, great, this one thing is great. I'm not going to like try to expand on it or experiment with any other things.
No, I will die, and so will the next 12 generations of my family.
I have a quick question. Does anybody drink hot beer?
Oh, God, this reminds me of a joke. Brody Stevens, who has passed away, he used to do a joke about microwave salads, and it always grossed me out. Certain things I don't like
That's
hot.
a runner on Doughboys is that Weiger likes hot salads.
Oh, God.
But beer is kind of weedy. I had a tea last night and I thought, oh, this kind of almost tastes like weedy, kind of almost like beer. Like, what does anybody drink hot beer? Like
I hope not.
a boiling hot beer?
A hot
Hot beer
Coke.
on a hot day?
I'm not a hot drink person.
But like coffee, I don't know. There's some drinks that go, it's gross in the middle, but hot or cold works. And tea, I feel like you would want hot tea or cold tea. Coffee, obviously hot or cold. Middle, nothing. I think somebody out there, try hot beer and let me know what you think.
All right. We'll put it out to the freaks. Everyone pull over. Actually, don't. Go to the store.
Pull over, pour yourself a beer. I know you got one in your cup holder.
You can probably just leave in your car during your shift.
That's a really good idea. Get off work, crack a hot beer.
And enjoy.
Call us. We need a hotline.
That feels like it's going to make a massive burp.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So by 900 AD, this is thousands of years later, there's now Japanese tea ceremonies. 1669, tea is introduced into England. Obviously, England is known for drinking tea. But at that point, it's only enjoyed by the aristocrats. I always say that word wrong. Don't help. You got to help me. Aristocracy? Aristocrat. I can't say it.
Can't help you.
Oh, God. You know what I'm trying to say. The rich.
Yeah, okay.
Aristocracy. Oh, God. Aristocracy. I hate being smart, but not knowing how to say words.
We know you're smart. There's no doubt in anyone's mind that you're smart.
Well, you know what? I can't. Okay. Because at that time, a pound of tea would cost the average British laborer the equivalent of 9 months' wages.
Not worth it.
Not worth it. Just go pick some leaves in your yard.
Sure.
Before 1838, the only country to cultivate and export tea was China. Today, there's more than 1,500 types, and it comes from over 25 countries.
Yeah, and that's great. Do you drink hot tea ever? I feel like every once in a while you have a cup of something.
Rarely. It's one of those things
Peppermint.
I'll buy in the fall at Trader Joe's because I think I love the idea of it more than I do
Yes.
the making of it. And I go against I'm sure everyone would clutch their pearls and cringe because I microwave my water to make it hot.
Yeah.
I think I'm supposed to have a teapot or
Sure. There are
steep
people
it.
who are, it's like anything where like aficionados can ruin it. You know what I mean? It's like the water has to be the perfect temperature. It has to steep for a certain number of minutes. I don't follow any of those rules. And I too get sucked into the seasonal tea bag boxes
Yeah.
at Trader Joe's. They
Little-
look so cute and a little
squirrel having a tea party with all of his forest friends.
Yeah, I know. It really sucks you in. And then I like it, and I think I just drink it mostly for like whatever the perceived health benefits are. I think it's like really the most like delicious thing. Like I like a bedtime tea or like a ginger tea if I have a tummy ache. But if I'm making tea for it to be like yummy, I want it to taste like, I don't know, like a chai latte from Starbucks with like a lot of sugar and milk in it, and like basically a hot frappuccino.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I will say a couple of times with my Avatar gal pals, who I've referenced a few times, for some of our birthday things, we will go to tea in Pasadena.
Oh, yes, that's fun.
Where you pick I forget, 1 or 2 or 3 different teas to try, and everyone gets like a little tray of a bunch of different, those little sandwiches and cookies and treats
These
and
must
stuff.
be in every town. I feel like we've seen these on like a date on Love on the Spectrum, like a tea house where you get a pretty pot and like a little porcelain thing, and then you get those yummy little crustless sandwiches.
It seems so dainty and dumb at the time. You're like,
Yeah.
oh, this won't fill me up. I'm going to go get a 5-layer burrito. But by the time it's all wrapped up, I'm usually pretty
a
satisfied.
thin layer of cream cheese, little sliced cucumber, little toast points. Those are really fun.
And at different tiers, so you can buy as much as you need.
I love that.
All right, so that's tea. There we have tea. Now,
John, you really spilled the tea.
I love that. And I feel like that was like 9 minutes, and it was supposed to be 1.
How many pages we clock in a day?
It's like 6.5, so
great.
I did good.
So we're good. We're
Yeah.
doing great.
All right, so let's talk about Thomas Lipton.
Ooh, hot name.
Hot name.
I feel like, is Thomas kind of a hot name?
I have a brother named Tom, so his name's Thomas, so I'm not going to be like,
Is your brother hot?
well, he's
Okay, old men can be hot, and John, brothers can be hot.
we're not. This isn't even off brand.
Brothers are often hot.
This is no brand. All right, so he also, as a kid, said he went by Tommy, but I'm going to
Okay.
call him Thomas Lipton.
Tommy.
So he's born May 10, 1948.
Same year my mom was born.
48?
Oh my gosh, he could have been at her wet t-shirt contest.
He just throws tea on her.
He would have left it. This is an unwholesome establishment. He stumbled in thinking he could get a cup of hot tea. Instead, he's being handed a bucket to toss on my mom.
Wait, 1848.
Oh. She's not that old.
I'm glad it took me over a minute to realize your mom's not
170.
170 years old. 1848.
That's right.
Thomas Lipton is born. This is clip-clop era. He's clip-clopping all around
Firmly
town.
clip-clop.
So he's born in a
He has a horse named Cinnamon.
I think they were probably too poor to have horses. He's born in a tenement in Glasgow, Scotland. His parents are Irish immigrants. They were forced to leave Ireland due to the Great Famine in 1845. The area they live in is very poverty-stricken and it's overcrowded. They moved to Scotland searching for a better life for their family. The dad, Thomas Sr., he works a bunch of different jobs. We hear this all the time. He's a laborer. He's a printer. They have a total of 4 children. Thomas's 3 siblings all died.
Oh, man. That's just how it was back then, wasn't it?
I mean, that's rough.
That's rough.
3 of your children died.
3
Thomas
out of
was the
4.
youngest. So they're going into Thomas like he'll probably die. The other 3 have died.
Don't get too attached to Thomas.
And
Wow.
quite the opposite. I will, spoiler, Tom lived.
Oh, great.
So in the 1860s, his parents now own a little shop and they're selling basic provisions to this poor, crowded area. They've got ham, butter, eggs, basically just things that people need to survive. Thomas leaves school at 13 because of course he does. That's what everyone does
That's
back
what
in
you
these
did.
days to help supplement his parents' income.
Sure.
He then begins working a bunch of different jobs. He works as a printer's errand boy, a shirt cutter. He's picking up foods from the ships as they dock with a wheelbarrow, bringing them back to the shop.
Classic old-timey jobs.
Oh my God. Wearing a cute little, like those long white socks. Actually, he's poor. He's probably just like barefoot running around with a wheelbarrow full of
Sure.
fish.
Oysters, clams, and cockles. Remember that from Game of Thrones?
Yeah, I do. The girl with no face. So the sailors are telling stories and he's fascinated by these. In 1864, he signs up to be a cabin boy on a steamer. So, and he's really fascinated by like living his life on the ship and hearing all the sailors talk. He saves up his money and, oh, I thought you were making like I thought you were going to make a seaman joke. Maybe that's just me. Whenever I hear sailor,
That's just you.
I'm always thinking of seaman.
You got semen on the brain.
So, does anyone drink hot? No. So he saves up all his money and gets himself to America. And then he's there for 5 years. He travels more around America than I have in my entire life. He's working a million different jobs. He works at a tobacco plantation in Virginia, an accountant at a rice plantation in South Carolina. He's a door-to-door salesman in New Orleans, a farmhand in New Jersey, and he eventually ends up in New York City.
Oh my gosh, this guy's got skills.
He really does. And he's still really young at this point.
You know what job I didn't hear? Podcaster.
Couldn't handle it. Could not handle that.
Hey, welcome to Clop Talk. I'm your host, Tommy Lipton.
Tommy, New York. My co-host here, Hollywood Justin. We're just here to tell you what the latest in grocery stores, because that's where he ends up.
Great.
He ends up in New York, and he works on Broadway in this giant store owned by another immigrant of Irish descent, Alexander Turney Stewart. So Stewart's store is incredible. I've seen a picture of it. I don't remember if it's actual photograph or back then sometimes they just had to do etches or drawings. I'll put it in the supplementals. But the place is huge. It's one of the biggest shops the world has ever seen. It's got a giant marble entrance. It's got Roman columns inside. It's immaculately clean. And Stewart is showcasing this whole like new way of shopping. And basically he's doing low markup, high volume. So he's selling a lot of things that are like pricing things low, but selling a ton of it.
Sure.
And it's like, I know no one cares about this, but this is what The Cure did when they toured 2 years ago. Robert Smith's posters were like $20, t-shirts were $20. And in an interview, he was like, I would rather sell them cheap so everyone gets what they want. He's like, I'll be honest, we still made a ton of money.
This is what I'll never you sell twice as many, you charge half as much. It's the same.
Yeah, why?
It's the same.
Just do it.
And then you have all these people they're walking billboards for your music.
I know. And then you see the Taylors and the Beyoncés. As much as I love them, t-shirt $60, a hoodie $80.
Unbelievable.
It's ridiculous.
It's
so
crazy.
that's what he's doing. I will say The Cure was inspired by him.
Sure, I will think that's canon also. I'll mention that at the 4th of July party I'm going to today. Did you know?
Did you know? Robert Smith. Quick Robert Smith shout out. Did you see, I'm not going to be able to say his name, but it's just because Pascal, what's his name?
Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal
Yes.
was recently photographed this week wearing a Cure t-shirt.
Oh.
So the Cure fans, I didn't know.
Oh,
He was,
like out in the wild he
like
was?
at a premiere going, not at a premiere. I
cute.
think he was with,
Dakota Johnson.
no,
Oh, he's been with her a lot lately.
the woman who's in all the Ryan Murphy things.
Oh, yeah, I know who you mean. Cool pop culture. This has been your pop culture minute. John doesn't know Pedro Pascal's name. I don't know the name of the Ryan Murphy lady.
I was going to
know
say
who
the
you mean.
lesbian in the Ryan Murphy.
We know. Okay, yes.
They were at a premiere of Evita.
Oh, okay, that's fun.
Have you seen any of the clips of Evita?
No.
It's incredible. It's got
Great.
that young girl in it who was in Snow White that everyone was like, we hate her. Now she's in Evita.
She was in West Side Story.
Yeah, and now she's in West Side Story, great. Then she does the Disney thing.
No one
Snow
likes
White,
it
everyone's
bad.
like, you're the demon, we hate you. Now she's doing Evita, accolades
Yeah.
up the butt. She does this thing where
Wow.
she goes out and sings to the public outside. So now everyone gather. I have goosebumps. It's so
That
incredible.
sounds really fun. We actually really loved West Side Story. That's a movie that I feel like a lot of people didn't talk about. We were watching, we were like, these kids, first of all, they're creamy.
They are, no one's going to get a creamy reference. They're very attractive people.
No, like creamy, like their skin is so creamy.
No one's still
It's
going to
the
get it.
only way you
Everyone's
can
gonna be
describe
like,
it.
what are she talking about?
When me and John see somebody who's like under 22, the only way you can describe them, their skin has like a creaminess to
But
it.
older than 18.
Yes, between 18 and 22.
Yeah.
And this
They're just
cast
young and creamy.
was creamy.
Every shot was like a poster. It was a beautiful movie.
Beautiful
I don't know
movie,
why we
and
watched
everyone
it.
was extremely talented. I thought that was a great movie.
Yeah.
Pop culture minute. There you go. We're talking about a photo shoot, a movie that came out 7 years ago, or an actress we don't know her name of.
A band that's 40 years old.
A band that's 40
that
years
sells
old.
cheap t-shirts. We're not adding pop culture moment to the show. Another thing he did is he just had set prices. So I guess at this point in time, people haggled. Like you would go to a store and you would haggle prices. And he was like, no haggling.
Sarah Paulson.
Sarah Paulson. AKA the lesbian actress in the
all
Ryan Murphy shows. Yes, we love her. And yes, okay, so that story is now complete. So no haggling, he sets the prices. And all these things that he's like, Lipton is just kind of a sponge in this environment. He's young, he's observing, like he's like, I really like the vibe of this.
That's kind of like Trader Joe's, because their whole thing is that it's no coupons. It's just like everyday low prices. Like we're not going to give you any like special deals.
Yeah.
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 Trader Joe's was inspired by them also.
Yeah. Robert Smith from The Cure and Trader Joe's were inspired by the guy that Thomas Lipton worked for in New York in the 1800s.
It's canon. Tell it at your barbecues.
Hey, you guys, I found out something really interesting yesterday. I think you're going to want to sit down, though, because it's going to take me a minute to really unpack
If you
this.
want people to leave your party, if you're getting tired, start dropping some of these fun facts.
Wear a Cure shirt or a Sarah Paulson shirt to get the
Sure.
conversation started.
Ask anybody, have you seen the new Evita, clips of the new Evita on Broadway?
Gave John goosebumps. Who's John? Oh, you don't know John? He does a pop culture minute.
The star of it, I don't know her name, but she's so creamy. We're actually going to go. I think we have to leave right now.
We have another barbecue we had already committed to.
They're so creamy.
1870, 1871, Lipton returns to Glasgow. He opens his own provision shop. He calls it Lipton's Market. And like Stewart's store in New York, it's a very different shopping experience, especially for this area. The outside is brightly painted. Inside, it's very well lit.
Great.
It's spotlessly clean. All the salespeople...
Other stores at the time, the outside was not painted. Inside, it's dark and scary.
You forget.
I
I pull up these supplementals and I'm like, oh, right. 1880 San Francisco looks like a Clint Eastwood Western. It's not like we kind of forget. We take for granted what the world looked like. It was boards and clip clopping and dust.
And dust and dark.
Just watch Back to the Future 3. That's
house.
where all of this takes place.
You had to buy your milk from a haunted house.
Can I tell you?
Yes.
One of my favorite cinematic moments is Back to the Future 3 is not my favorite of the trilogy. Obviously, 2 is.
Yeah, sure.
But having that clock as a run through for all the movies, and they get to the point where we see the clock being dedicated, I don't know why it makes me emotional. And if they haven't a picture taken, I think it's one of the most brilliant moments in cinema history.
We love when those threads are so expertly
Perfectly
kind of done.
Chef's kiss.
That's a fun spot too if you make it out to Universal Studios on a trip.
where it was originally
you
shot.
can see the clock tower.
Oh, that's right. You can.
Yes.
From the first and second movies.
Yes, very, very, very fun.
That's awesome.
And a very fun Old West. God, I kind of am craving Universal Studios.
Well, let's talk about that after this.
This has been your theme park minute.
We're adding too many minutes. I made a decently timed
We had our tea minute, pop culture minute,
movie madness minute. So the salespeople are wearing bright white aprons. He's got rows of hams, meats, and cheeses, and the store is a huge success.
Great.
So he starts opening stores all across central Scotland. And as the business is growing, he realizes to keep the business going, he needs to have a very reliable source of high quality products coming in.
Of course.
He learns that his customers would like products from Ireland and other countries, so he starts traveling around the world sourcing products. This reminds me a lot of the guy from Pottery Barn.
Yes.
Once their store started to take off, he started to travel to find things to fill the store with.
Sure.
And then something really important happens that is a huge part of why he was so successful. So up until this point, like shop owners would work with brokers who were kind of the middleman. They would be the person between you and the farmer, or you and whoever, to source your materials. And he wanted to cut the middleman out.
Oh, wow.
This is exactly what Taylor Swift did when she released her concert movie 3 years ago. She went bypassed the studio system and went directly to AMC and was like, listen, we want a movie. Do you want to put it out? We'll get all the money. Screw the studios. That's basically...
Do you know who her inspiration was?
Thomas
Lipton.
This guy has his finger on all of society. Taylor Swift would not exist were it not
Absolutely.
for Thomas Lipton.
That's true.
So he would travel, and when he would get to a place, he would hire a local that would work with the farmers that would make deals just for him. So now the farmers, he's getting everything straight from the farmers. The farmers love it because they're getting a bigger cut of it. He's getting a bigger cut of it, and it's a win-win for everybody. And it may not even seem like it's that big of a deal. At the time it was. It's kind of how everybody works now because of Thomas Lipton.
Wow.
He's basically the Sarah Joseph Hale of everything else.
Oh my gosh. Statue in every town square. He's on our Mount Brandmore of the heroes.
Thomas Lipton definitely is.
Sarah Joseph Hale.
He should be. He's a character. I don't know if you remember, for a long time, his face was on the boxes of tea. He was a sailor. We'll get to all that. So now he's, very successful. His stores are popping up all over Scotland. And this is when he really starts to kind of like have fun with things. So when
he's earned a little fun. Let's have some fun, Thomas.
I know right now he may just seem like, we're barely into his life. He's just a kid that went to New York and now he's got some grocery stores.
How old is he? He's like young still, right?
When he opened his first store, he was like still in his 20s.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So yeah. So now, whenever they open a store, it's like a whole to-do. There's billboards, there's newspaper ads, there's flyers. Everything reads, Lipton is coming. And Lipton would go to each grand opening, and he would give out prizes to the customers. And then he really started to become known for having these elaborate stunts and just thinking outside of the box to like drum up business. He would make these large butter sculptures that he would put in the windows that people would just come and look at, because in the 1850s, seeing a large sculpture made out of butter is insane.
There's like nothing to look at.
Nothing to look at.
You're looking out your window 8 hours a day.
Yeah, they're not looking at TikTok yet.
Nope.
He would have pig parades. So Lipton would get all these pigs from the farmers in the market. He would tie ribbons around their tails, parade them through the street to show how fresh his bacon is going to be.
Oh my gosh.
They would go to the store, people would follow it, and every day he would have the pig parade go in a different direction. So he would get different people from all over. He's just luring everyone into his store.
Does anything make you hungrier for ham than seeing a pig parade marching through your town?
With a little bow on his tail?
Let's make the pig cuter.
Kill it.
Yeah. Let's put a little hat on it, a little bow on it. We'll march it through with this little piggy family.
Oh my gosh. If we were one of those cheesy shows, then we would cut to like that, what's that meme where he's like, get in my belly.
Fat bastard. Yeah. I'll put a clip of...
Don't put a clip.
Put a clip of Fat Bastard saying, get in my belly. John's request.
I hate
Thank you.
that clip.
John's request.
I hate it. Okay.
I've heard of this little piggy went to market, but this is ridiculous.
I feel like it wasn't even that long ago when I realized when the piggy went to market, it meant that they were being killed.
You thought the piggy was going with like its reusable shopping bags?
Yeah, I thought he was going to like West Elm. He's just going to die. 1881, Lipton announced that he was importing the world's largest cheese from New York. Now, this cheese, when I say world's largest...
Okay. The world was different back then. I mean, how big could cheese be?
Apparently, it took milking 800 cows for 6 days to get enough milk for this cheese.
Lord.
200 dairy maids to make this enormous cheese that was 2 feet thick, 14 feet around.
Oh my God.
The streets were lined with spectators to see the cheese. They were cheering the cheese as it made its way down to Lipton's store.
Wow.
It was being pulled by a traction engine, which I had to look up to see what that even is, and I still don't totally know. And I didn't know that they had them back then.
I think he's like trying to get into the parade business because he really likes like a march through town.
He wants people to march into his store, and he wants their money to march into his bank account.
I see. So this was like he's the king of the publicity stunt.
He is.
And then people would, I'm assuming everyone ate the cheese.
Babe, we'll get to it. The cheese arrives at the store and does not fit through
of course.
the door.
I bet everyone had a good laugh about that.
Everyone laughs. Everyone pulls out their pocket watches to see if they need to be anywhere, and they continue to laugh.
Darling.
Undeterred, Lipton sends the parade onward to the next closest store of his, where they are able to get the cheese in through...
Honey, we're getting our steps in today.
Girl. They're able to get the cheese in through the store's window, apparently.
Okay.
Then, for 2 weeks... people come from all around to look at the cheese, to marvel at the cheese. They nickname the cheese Jumbo. Have you gone down to see Jumbo yet?
People traveled by train to see this cheese.
Different time.
Different
I mean,
times.
is it a different time? Did you see that there was a line of 9,000 people for the new Erewhon that opened in Manhattan Beach this week?
No. To buy a $60 smoothie.
They're now selling $49 orange juice.
You're kidding.
No, every
You're
week.
kidding.
Every week they're coming out with something just to be shocking. It's brilliant because people are like, have you tried the $49 orange juice?
I can't stand it.
No, I live in California. You know what I did? I picked an orange off the tree and it was the best orange I ever had.
Ridiculous.
Now, for most people, this publicity stunt would have been enough. They've gotten attention. The cheese has been named. We have customers. Not for old Lipton. He decided to turn the cheese into gold. Literally.
Okay.
Okay, not literally, but he had a large quantity of gold sovereigns and he stuck, those are coins, gold coins, and he stuck them in the cheese. A few days before Christmas, Lipton made an announcement. Since it was Christmas, his cheese, like Christmas puddings, would contain sovereigns and half sovereigns. He gets dressed up in a white suit, starts slicing the cheese. The assistants wrap it up. People lose their mind buying this cheese, hoping to get gold coins. The police had to be brought in to make sure the crowds stayed calm enough and that everyone could buy their cheese. The cheese, that giant 14 by 2 foot cheese, sold out in 2 hours because everyone wanted a piece of Lipton's cheese.
Thomas Lipton invented the blind box.
Wow.
Does this man's impact
He
know no bounds?
is the reason we have Labubu.
A percentage of every Labubu sold should go to the Lipton estate.
I would love a Labubu Lipton collab. Sorry, Angelo. So it's a huge success. I was imagining myself, of course I would have been there. I would have been trying to get Lipton's autograph, definitely buying a blind box of cheese in hopes of getting a gold coin.
Sure.
The giant cheeses became an annual Christmas tradition at all the Lipton stores.
You would have waited like 2 days to get this cheese. I'd go, John, did you eat the cheese yet? And you were like, no, it's in my fridge.
John,
it's in my ice box.
Fridges haven't been invented yet. It's sitting on a cold stone by the river. Apparently, one of the cheeses was so large it had to be brought to the store by elephant from a local circus.
No.
That's what it said.
Oh my gosh.
Transported through town
Wow.
on a circus elephant.
This is a showman.
Yeah.
How many more instances do we need? Pull your kids out of school at age 13 and watch what happens.
Give them a wheelbarrow, give them a fish. You go on vacation, you will be set.
When you come back, an empire.
Empire, iconic brand. So the stunts may have seemed silly, but it's really part of what made him so popular. By the 1880s, he's got more than 200 shops.
Wow.
They expand all across Britain. There's even some in the U.S. They don't become quite as popular in America yet. He will gain fame in America very soon, but not from his stores. Why? Because there's a new item that pops up on Lipton's radar, one that he knows to be rare and exclusively a luxury item for the rich. Tea. By the 1880s, tea had started to lose... Oh, I wrote a joke here. I love it when I write a joke.
Let's hear it.
By the 1880s, tea had started...
Okay. Stick the landing, please.
By the 1880s, it's not even that good of a joke.
Nope, tee it up.
By the 1880s, tea had started to lose some of its mystique. Quickly becoming the beverage of choice for the British middle class. Just to give you an idea, the late 1870s, tea sales $40 million.
Oh my gosh.
The mid 1880s, 7 years later, $80 million.
Leaves are free. Who is buying this? Why must you be rich?
It's no different than like today, like the plant people. Like you can propagate a plant. It's like you're
Sure.
just printing money.
Sure. All I know is I got a wild patch of mint out my back door that cannot be tamed.
See, but whenever people say like things like, I'm like, but like look at a painting. A painting is just paint.
Sure.
Because it was painted by Picasso. It's $800 million.
Yeah, but this tea isn't grown by Picasso.
It's grown by Lipton. Now, Lipton realizes that it's still kind of too expensive for some people. At the time, a pound of loose leaf tea was the equivalent of about 50 cents. But there's people that are making $10 a week. So to spend 50 cents on that on tea, he knows that that's too expensive. And he decides that he thinks tea should be for everyone.
Oh, I love that. Man of the people.
Another issue that is going on at this time is there's not a lot of consistency in tea. The blends, the quality can be all over the place. You could buy some, it's delicious. You buy other, it's disgusting.
Sticks, twigs, bugs.
Exactly. You don't know what you're going to get. So Lipton looked at all these setbacks and sees an opportunity. And it's kind of like he was having his Shark Tank moment. Now, obviously, in 1890, there was no Shark Tank.
Allegedly.
There was no television.
So you say?
I don't think there were billionaire investors. I'm not sure, maybe equivalent, but I don't think there were billionaire investors. So I know that this isn't completely accurate. But if Thomas Lipton were to go on Shark Tank, I think it would go something like this. Next into the tank is a rags to riches story, and this grocery store tycoon is looking to make tea time all the time. Hello, Sharks. My name is Thomas Lipton. I have been fortunate enough to have great success in building my grocery store empire, and that has given me the time to follow my other passion projects. And today, I'm here to talk about one of those, tea. As you probably know, tea was once reserved for the rich and mighty, but today more people than ever can enjoy it. But at what cost? Would you be surprised if I told you that 90% of the tea bought by the middle class is low-grade tea? The taste is inconsistent. The leaves are from who knows where. It can even have mold. And on top of all that, it's just too expensive. Well, I have come up with a system to take care of all of these issues. First, I've standardized the tea blend and know the source of every single tea leaf. How did I do that, you ask? I bought a tea plantation in Sri Lanka. This not only allows me to have unprecedented quality control, but because I've lost the middleman, the prices will be grand. And second, and maybe the most important part of my process, can be summed up in 3 words. Packaging, packaging, packaging. Long gone will be the days of going into a shop to buy a scoop of tea and not knowing if you're getting cheated by their scales. Lipton tea... Lipton tea will come in pre-measured packets of 1/4, half, and full pound. This will not only make it easier for shops to handle, but will give our customers the confidence they are getting the amount of tea they paid for, a first in the industry. So, Sharks, I have to ask, who's ready to help our customers stop stewing and start brewing?
Listen, the tea business is very competitive. I don't want to touch the tea business with a 10-foot pole. For that reason, I'm out.
You're a cockroach. Get out of here. So that is the quick version of what Lipton did. He saw this opportunity to solve a problem and start a business. So it was a lot like what he was doing with his stores. Like at the time, there was tea brokers, and they were the ones making the bulk of the money, and he just wanted to get rid of them and deal with it himself. So cut to, I always feel like I say this wrong. You know the word, Ceylon. It's Ceylon.
Oh. I've never heard that before.
You know, because it'll say like Ceylon tea. Like I feel like
I've read that
see
before,
it all the time, but I just never knew. It's Ceylon. You drag out lawn. It is now known as Sri Lanka. Oh, so I will call it either. So Ceylon at one point had been it's an island, and it was a huge coffee producer. And in the late 1860s, a fungus completely wiped out that industry. Ooh. So everyone was just devastated. Some people left. Some people decided to try other crops. Some people started growing tea there, and the tea actually worked really well.
I'm ready for a fungus to wipe us out.
Babe.
I'm ready.
Positivity.
Take me, fungus.
Positivity.
Take me.
So the tea that they were growing on the island was actually really good. It was rich, it was mellow, it was bright, it was described as golden. I'm sure that's a tea term. And it became very popular with the London tea brokers.
Wow.
By the time Lipton discovered the island, they were already exporting about 45 million pounds of tea a year. Now, by the time he discovered it, it was like 20 years past the coffee fungus debacle, but they had never quite recovered from it, so land was super cheap.
Wow.
So he decides that he wants to get in on this business.
Perfect.
He ends up buying 5 estates right away, tea plantations, and within a short time, he has over a dozen. And then he does all the things that he did when I said he was on Shark Tank. He creates a consistent tea. He does these pre-measured packets that nobody was doing before, because I guess that was a whole thing. People putting their finger on the scale and jipping you out of tea. Which,
I can imagine, yes.
yeah. So, yeah, that was a full
Business was shady back then.
Everyone's a little shady. So he was all about quality and consistency so that no matter what, when you bought a package of Lipton tea, no matter where you bought it or what it was, they would all be the same. Now, when he makes his tea and it finally starts arriving at Lipton stores, of course, it's not just going to show up with a little newspaper ad, "We're now selling tea."
Of course.
It shows up with a brass band. There's a bagpipe parade.
Da, 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 tea, da, da, da.
My favorite is apparently, and I looked up one search on eBay and wish I could find one, he apparently even made some promotional Lipton money.
Cute.
How much?
What would you give
for
a Lipton buck?
dollar? Oh my God. I've got Gaga money. I've got Beyonce money. If I don't get a Lipton dollar by the time I die,
Wow.
not
eBay,
worth living.
eBay.
It's a runaway hit. There's so much demand for his tea, he starts selling it in other people's shop. It's not just at Lipton stores.
Wow.
It starts going into other retailers
I
too.
want to go to a Lipton store.
Yeah, unfortunately, unless you get a time machine and go back to the 80s when the last one, and they probably weren't in it, you're going to want to go. You can't.
Oh.
At the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago, he sells over 1 million packets of his tea.
Wow.
He would go on to purchase coffee and cocoa plantations, fruit farms, jam factories, bakeries, meat processing plants.
Gosh, this guy is dreaming big.
Bro, you have no idea. He was knighted in 1898. He has a huge home on a 60-acre estate in England. He loves to throw parties and entertain friends and business acquaintances. He would have an annual day of sports and entertainment for his office staff every year.
Fun.
He was a frequent guest at Buckingham Palace. He was obsessed with yachting, and I could probably do a whole episode just on his yachting, but I won't. But I'm going to try to...
That's like episode like 750. It's like, and that's why this Big Song brand is on Lipton's yachting hobby.
You laugh, but so it was probably ingrained in him as a childhood from working on the ships.
He was
but
a seaman.
He was a seaman. He loved yachting. He was really, really wanted to win America's Cup, which is like a yachting trophy.
Sure.
He attempted over years and years, 5 different times to get it. He never accomplished it. He had a different boat every time. It was Shamrocks 1 through 5, his good luck yacht. But that is actually what made him become even more famous in America.
Oh, interesting.
They ended up giving him like a consolation trophy for being like the world's best loser. He
that's cute.
He ended up getting his picture on the cover of Time magazine. Like,
oh my gosh.
he just really kind of became like this pop culture guy. And this is like, he was also kind of before like, obviously before Colonel Sanders, but like he became the brand. Like you would get these packaging and it was a picture of him, like he's got his mustache and his like sailor cap on, and it was Lipton. Like he was the mascot of the brand.
I feel like I can't picture it, but I'm sure it would look familiar if I saw it.
I could, and it definitely was nostalgic when I saw it. I must have seen it at some point. It is obviously no longer there.
Yeah, he's fallen off.
And then he becomes popular in America. He's a guest at the White House. He entertained President Roosevelt on one of his yachts. Maybe you'll come across that in your book.
Oh, not there yet.
Probably not there yet. One of my favorite things, because I feel like we kind of do this on the show, he banned, when he would have these parties on his yacht, he banned all talk of religion and politics. Love that.
Yeah, that's great. I want to be a Lipton.
I have dreamed of being an heir my whole life.
Lipton would be a fun family to be in.
Lipton would be a good one. I mean, what's the controversy? I'm sure there must be some.
But I'm just thinking like the spirit of the family. Like they're just partying so hard. They probably like spend like $500,000 on like elaborate scavenger hunts. They seem like a real fun, wild crowd.
Well, it's actually kind of interesting that you say that because as I mentioned, all of his siblings passed, so he didn't have any siblings. So all of this is going on. He's on magazines. Everyone knows he's a party guy. He loves yachting. He loves vacationing. He really becomes known as a ladies' man and a flirt. He is described by the media as the world's most eligible bachelor.
Wow.
But despite all of that, he never has a romantic relationship with a woman.
He's gay.
Yeah.
He's gay. Not publicly, though. Like, that's like an industry secret.
He would say that no woman measured up to his mother.
I mean, that makes sense because no straight guy would be that fun.
I thought you were going to say no straight guy likes tea that much.
Well, that is true. Maybe I'll pal. But just like his spirit of having a good time, I feel like that's the gay part of him.
He had a secret 30-year relationship with one of his early shop assistants, William Love.
Oh.
And the two men lived together. After that relationship ended, he was known to have friendships with other men.
Interesting. Wow, that is... I see a movie.
Maybe I'll play this part. Sorry, Matt Damon.
You're out.
Move over.
John's in.
I'm in. John Glover is Thomas Lipton, a one-man play about yachting and teabagging. Okay.
A little 50-seat theater in Hollywood. There you go.
50?
Well, I don't know.
can't fill 100. What the hell?
I feel like a one-person show starts small and then it grows from word of mouth.
My show is doomed before it starts. All right, so the 1904 World's Fair in St. Louis would be another moment that is huge for Lipton, even though he really had no part in it. There was a tea man there named Richard Bleckenden who was giving out samples of his hot tea. It was a very hot day.
Oh.
Nobody wanted his hot tea. He decides to put ice in it. The samples flew off the table.
Is that literally just the first person?
This is literally the moment that is credited to inventing iced tea. 1904, St. Louis World's Fair.
This is me with hot beer. This is the moment. Nobody thought to, because I'm thinking like, well, what other drinks could be made like Serendipity? In New York, they have their frozen hot chocolate.
Yeah.
You have to just like flip the script.
Gotta flip
Things
the
that you're
script.
used to being hot, make them cold. Things you're used to being cold, like beer.
I gotta say, hot beer sounds like pee to me. So iced tea, I mean, obviously is huge for Lipton. By 1909, Lipton is now a self-made millionaire. So just to give you a little context, $1 million in 1909 is worth $35 million today.
Unbelievable.
He just has an unimaginable amount of wealth. 1909, of course, we're 3 years away from the Titanic. I feel like I can say with confidence, if he were to have been on the Titanic, he definitely would have been in first class.
Absolutely.
And he 99% would have died.
I see him as wanting to be on the Titanic.
I know. I'm kind of surprised he wasn't on the Titanic.
Yeah, it seems like a flirt fest.
He gives a lot of money to sponsor sports teams and feed the poor. As I mentioned, 1924, he's on the cover of Time magazine. He lived a very big and full life. October 2, 1931, he passes away. He leaves the bulk of his estate to the city of Glasgow, where he grew up, the poor area. There's huge crowds lining the street for like his funeral parade. He finally gets the ultimate final parade. It is he. He is the cheese.
He is the cheese.
So everyone's, heartbroken that he's gone. He really did have
fit him through the window of the funeral parlor because his coffin is too big. Oh, that's very sweet.
His grocery stores would continue, but they would disappear in the 80s after being, merged with other brands over the years.
Well, and it was his creativity and passion that was keeping it.
Yeah.
That's the engine for
and
it.
it became much more about the tea, I believe.
I think he's seeing a lot of dollar signs in the tea biz.
Yeah, so the tea would be the legacy he would leave behind, which is still one of the top tea brands today. I don't talk about it in the show, but I'll throw it in there because I use it pretty regularly. They also make Lipton soup mixes. The French onion dip
Oh my
is
God,
what
I just connected that those two are the same company.
I use that quite regularly to make French onion dip.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That is really funny. Their two products are tea and
Soup.
like a powdered soup that is most eaten with sour cream.
Yeah.
Wow, that is
I don't know
crazy.
anyone that buys it and it's like, I'm going to have a hot bowl of Lipton's
So true.
French onion soup.
Ooh, French onion soup on ice could be potential.
Oh. French onion ice cubes.
I'm going to be icing everything. I'm going to be heating everything until I find my $1 million idea.
I mean, it's not a bad idea. Well, there you go. That's Lipton tea. I think I had a couple fun facts. Let's see. Oh, here's a fun fact. The amount of black tea that Lipton has used in its tea bags has stayed the same since they introduced their flow-through bags in 1952.
Wow, cool.
How many tea leaves do you think is in each bag?
100.
30.
Oh.
That was fun. Lipton served up a 12. This doesn't even seem impressive. I mean, this one I'm kind of like, meh. Lipton served up a 12.5 foot tall pitcher of iced tea in October 2015, creating a Guinness World Record. It took 8 large bags of tea, 2,000 gallons of water, and
8?
8. I know.
Oh, but how large?
I
They must have
know.
been like the
I'm
size
like-
of a beanbag chair.
Yeah, or like garbage bags.
Yeah.
2,204 gallons of water. Okay, 2 things that are very specific.
Okay.
And an undisclosed amount of ice. Like,
Disclose it.
tell us.
Was a secret?
Was it 4
How
pounds?
about I toss some tea into a swimming pool? I'm going to a barbecue today. I'll toss some tea in the swimming pool and I'll beat the record.
I'll do it.
Maybe I will.
You should.
Friends will really
Be
like
sure to
that.
get the people of Guinness to market. They did that for their 120th anniversary.
That's
and
fine.
then to end on kind of a serious note, I came across a story where, most people consider tea to be a healthy drink.
Ooh.
But they're assuming that you don't drink over a gallon of it a day.
Uh-oh.
In Arkansas, a man was hospitalized with kidney failure in 2015. After they did many tests and ruled out every other cause, they realized that he was drinking 16 8-ounce glasses of tea every day. And because of a chemical in it, that can be very bad for you. So please, all we ask, if you take anything away from the show, is to drink your tea responsibly.
Wow. That's some good advice.
What a way to die.
What? He died?
I don't think so.
He was
but
in trouble.
He was in trouble. Kidney
Oh
failure.
my gosh, that is wild.
Have to go on dialysis because of too much tea.
Too much tea. Oh, wow. I had no idea.
Well, there you go. That's Lipton tea. So now you know the story. You know the man. You know that he's gay. You know that he's rich. You know that he's fun.
I loved everything about that. I cannot wait to vote for the movie at the Oscars.
I love it.
In the reality where the movie has been made, I'm on the team that votes for who wins an Oscar.
So I'm assuming it's safe to say that Lipton is a hard-on brand for you.
Lipton will be a hard-on brand for me. I love the story. I think it's a great product. I love the soup mix.
And you know what you seem like you would be?
What?
You would do the 80s thing and make sun tea.
Yes.
If you don't remember that, if you're too young, there was a period where they were promoting, I think they even sold special pitchers for
They
it.
did, yeah.
That said sun tea on it. You would put some bags in some water and just set it out in the hot sun and let nature do its job.
So cute.
Yeah.
Splash in a lemonade. Oh, you are having a heck of a day. That's so fun. I love it. Hard on for me. What about you, John?
Hard on for me, of course. A gay man becoming rich and famous, selling leaves and tea bags. What is not to like? It's got everything.
It's got everything.
I love it.
How
A rags
fun.
to riches story.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yeah. Okay, and before we go, of course, I want to give out our shout outs to our Freaks of the Week. These are for all of the people that guest star Insta Egg. If you're not familiar, every Wednesday I post an Insta Egg on our Instagram story. It's basically a puzzle that lets you figure out what our brand is going to be that week. If you solve the puzzle and let me know what the brand is, you will get a very cute little freak badge and your name added to the Wheel of Freaks, which I will spin 5 times and pick 5 Freaks of the Week. And those lucky people this week are Caitlin O'Malley, John Rosemeyer, Candace Hansen, Katie with no last name, and Cece Murray. So congratulations, you guys. Thank you so much for doing the Insta Egg. Be sure to check out our Instagram profile, and you'll find supplemental materials that give you more insight into every episode. And if you want to see us, check out our YouTube channel, and you can watch the show as well.
And while we're giving shout outs, I'd like to shout out some lovely listeners who left us 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. First, we have Junior JJ, who says, my new favorite podcast. This is such a fun show. The hosts are so funny and charismatic, burned through all the episodes, and even signed up for the Patreon. We have a Patreon, by the way. If you want to listen to an extra episode every week, you can check out our Patreon Off-Brand with Jon and Marisa. The only downside is I can't fall asleep to this show. It's so much fun and so interesting. I end up staying awake until I turn it off. Wow. So you're trying to doze off, and then we're dropping facts like iced tea was invented because a guy put cubes out on a hot day. Good luck. You're going to be late for work tomorrow. Aaron T123 says, love this, loves listening to the podcast. Easy listening, look forward to it. Thank you so much for these nice words. It really helps promote the show, and it helps us feel happy and
seen.
And seen and appreciated.
And heard.
Isn't that what we all want? Go to Apple Podcasts and your app on iPhone only. I believe it's only Apple users that can do this. We're finding out. But if you leave us a 5-star review, we'll read your review on the show and give you a shout out. As Jon mentioned, our Instagram at OnBrandThePod, TikTok at OnBrandThePodcast. You can play the Insta Egg. You can see supplementals, little bonus pictures and stuff from the show, the episode we talked about, as well as chat with Jon. He's just laying in bed. He's awaiting your messages.
I do write a lot of you from bed. Is that bad?
No, it's good.
Good. I'm just comfortable. It allows me to be more open.
Sure. This is the only podcast where you're going to get such intimate engagement from one of the hosts. And with that, we'll be back next week with an all-new episode.
And remember, we may go off topic, but we'll always be on brand. Bye.
Bye.
Get in my belly!